Welcome, YouTubers. Welcome to Peter's Man Cave. We're going to be reviewing a 200 amp MIG welder multi-process machine today. It is a HZXVOGEN machine. It's HBM2280 model, and it is has a color LCD display with smart control, synergistic machine with inverter technology, and it runs on 110 or 220 volts. It comes with this cable to allow it to run on 110 or 220. The machine itself comes with a cable that's for USA, and the cable is 6 feet long from the machine. This cable is like another foot, so 7 foot if you're hooking up to 220, 6 foot if you're hooking up to 110. So this is one of the accessories that it comes with. Next thing is the Mig Gun. The Mig Gun that it comes with is an MB24. It's 9 feet long, and it comes with an additional graphite liner for welding aluminum. It is very heavy duty. The cable says that it's a 25 mm2. Looks like 25 millimeters squared. And this cable is very thick. So that's the Mig Gun. It also comes with an extra 2 1mm tips and an extra 0.8 millimeter tip. Also comes with a tool for taking off the tips on the MIG welder. Here's the wire liner that I pulled out, and I replaced it with the Teflon liner so that I could, or the graphite liner, so that I can weld aluminum. It also comes with a 2-pound roll of flux core wire for steel. Comes with a cheap hammer brush combination tool. Comes with 9 feet of gas hosing with 2 hose clamps. Comes with an arc welder torch, and this torch tip is a KB-200, and the plug on the end of it is a DKJ 35-50 plug. So that's what you need to plug into this machine. The cable itself says it's a H01 N2-D 1 by 25 millimeters squared. So there should be a 200 amp on it, and that is 6 feet long. Then we have the ground clamp, and the ground clamp has the same plug on it, which I'll just repeat here, DKJ 35-50. It also has a 1 by 25 millimeter squared cable, the same as the arc welder torch. It is 6 feet long also. So I think I covered everything that this came with. This welder can weld aluminum, magnesium, iron, carbon steel, galvanized carbon steel, stainless steel, and copper. For flux core wire, it could use 0.6, 0.8, 0.9, and 1 millimeter flux wire. And I think it can use the same for regular non-flux wire too. The Tig function, which it didn't come with a Tig Torch, but they send you a piece of tungsten. That is set up to use 1.6 millimeter or 2.4 millimeter tungsten. The MMA function, which is the stick welding, that can use electrodes that are size 2.5, 3.2, or 4 millimeter. I use 6013s and they are 3.2 millimeter electrodes. It can be adjusted lower or higher, but that's just what is in here on its synergistic mode, if you want to use that. The machine has a steel wire feed mechanism. It has a burn back knob for adjusting burn back when you're MIG welding. When you release the trigger, it puts out a little bit more wire, so that goes from 0 to 10. It has spool gun capability with the plug in the front of the machine and a switch inside by the wire feed to switch it from spool gun to the wire feed mechanism. So that's very easy. The spool gun itself, online now on eBay and Amazon, is like $161 to $169. I've already used this welding aluminum, and with the graphite liner, it seems like that works fine with just the MIG gun itself. So buying a spool gun, I don't know whether it's worth it or not. This also has inductance control knob, which a lot of machines don't have. It also has arc force knob for arc welding, which is another feature that a lot of other welders don't have. It has voltage, amp, and wire speed adjustments. So this machine, I weighed it, and it weighs approximately 24 pounds without the Mig Torch on there, with just the cable, everything that it came with, and I have a little section of hose on there. So it's about 24 pounds, so it's relatively light. The welding current is supposed to adjust from 10 to 200 amps. 10 amps is very low for a MIG welder to go, and it allows you to weld very thin metal. A lot of welders don't go down to 10 amps. Most of them, the lowest they go is like 30 amps. Some of them, the lowest they go is 50 amps. You might have a couple of 20, but that's a reason why I wanted this welder. It also has a voltage range of 10 to 26 volts according to the specs. And it seems to work pretty well. Seems to be built pretty well. And I like the display on there, which I'll cover later. You can buy the Tig Torch for it, which it doesn't come with. The Tig Torch would be about 60 bucks. I did buy one. And if you're to buy one, you need to get a WP-26V torch. I just checked, and these Tig torches right now are going for about 60 bucks. Make sure if you buy one that it definitely has the DKJ 35-50 connector on the end, otherwise it's not going to fit. When you're using this, you would just hook this right up to your gas regulator. A gas regulator does not come with this machine. So you have to have that, and you have to have a tank of gas if you're going to be using gas. This machine can use mixed gas, and it even has a setting for CO2 for MIG welding, which I was surprised at. CO2 I've never used, but I heard from looking at other things on the internet that CO2 burns hotter and penetrates deeper into steel. I'm going to have to try that and see how that works. But you can also use argon for aluminum. That's what you need to use for aluminum. And also for TIG welding, you need to hook up argon for that. So I bought this because of all the different features that it had. A lot of machines don't have burn back. They don't have the arc force. They don't have inductance. They don't have spool gun capabilities, and they don't have the range for amps from 10 to 200 amps, or the voltage from 10 to 26 volts. So that's why I bought it. And when you compare, when I bought it, I got it for $339. Now it's going for $435, but some of them say, you know, make an offer. When you compare this to the Yes Welder 205DS or the 250 Pro, I think this has just as good of features, if not better. The 205DS doesn't weld aluminum, according to what it says, and it doesn't have the capability for a spool gun. You'd have to bump up to the 250 Pro, which is a lot more money than this one here. If you went with a Harbor Freight Titanium 170 or 200, they're like double the price of this and have about the same features, but then you're stuck with buying all Harbor Freight welding torches that fit the Harbor Freight. If you go with something like this, it's European style, and you can buy these things on eBay and Amazon, and they're all over for parts for it. You can also get the rollers for it. The rollers you can get for V rollers for the wire feed, and they come in V, K, and U. V is for steel, K is for flux core, U is for aluminum, and I bought them. They were $3.99 per roller and $7.30 to ship currently. That'd be $11.30 per roller. It just seems like this machine, you could buy a lot of different features for it. And even for the Tig Torch, if you buy it now, it goes for about $60, and you could buy a 49-piece kit for less than $30 for it. So if you buy all that kind of stuff, you're going to be further ahead than buying a Harbor Freight welder or a Yes Welder, as far as I can see. But it's up to you. Make a decision. Take a look and see how this welder compares. And I'm hoping that you'll be able to subscribe. I really need some subscribers to make this worth my while. And I'm hoping this is useful information. I'll be showing the inside of the machine and the display on the front, and I'll show some welding that I've done with the Tig Torch, the arc welder, and the Mig torch, doing some aluminum, and I'll try and get to doing some steel, but I have the graphite liner in there for aluminum. So stay tuned. Keep on watching, give me a thumbs up, and subscribe. Thank you. Okay, so here's the side, and you click this up and open it up. And what you can see here is this has the metal. wire feeder. This will also take the 2-pound, the 10-pound, 11-pound spools, which is a good feature. And then it also has, let's see if I can get the light over here. It also has this burn back. So this controls, when you let go of the spool gun switch, how much it's going to feed the wire after you let go, so that it doesn't burn back and touch the tip, you know, when the wire's melting after you release the trigger. So this is a good feature. Usually I have it set at like one or two, and that seems to work good. The other thing is on here you also have spool gun, wire feed. So it makes it so easy, and you could buy a spool gun for these. They was running $161, $169. I did see them at one time for $131. Might be able to get them still that way, but I find that using the Teflon line, or the graphite liner that came with this, and the Mig Gun, it welds aluminum fine without a spool gun. I often think about getting one, but I don't know why I would use it. I heard they're kind of awkward to use, and if you're used to MIG welding, using the same gun makes it more familiar to you. So that's all I have to say about the inside here. Okay, we're going to do some stick welding with the HBM2280. I am working on 2.5 millimeter steel, and I'm going to be using a 6013 stick electrode. So we're going to set this to MMA. Click on that. This is how you set it. The ground goes to the negative, and the stick welder torch goes to the positive. We're going to choose 60 because it's a 6013. It is 3.2 millimeter, the diameter of the electrode. And the lowest this will go is 2.8 millimeters. It will go up to 6.4, but with this particular electrode and setting, the lowest it goes is 2.8, which is a little high, but we're going to pick that. Okay, so what it set was, it would be 90 amps and arc force of 0.5, which is right in the middle. So let me get up, set this up, and we'll go from there. Let's give it a try. Let's give it a little test run before we try it, and we'll just try and stitch together the metal. It's like 10 degrees here in my garage. We're expecting a snowstorm tonight, and it's a little chilly, I have to say. Okay, put this here. I think we're good to go. Let me just run a bead on the top and see if this will be good or it was too hot. Seems pretty good. Okay, let's change the electrode to a new one. And we'll give it a shot. It is a little hot for this piece of metal, and I did have a little gouge out of that piece there, so it did put a little hole. Let me let it cool down a little bit and we'll take a peek and see how it looks. Where's my little hammer here? Yeah, it looks like it's a little hot. It was definitely going right through the metal. So this is bed frame that I have. Let's see if I turn it down maybe. Let's see what it'll do. So it did say it was a little high for this stick, so let's go down to 85 amps. Let's see if it makes a difference. Seems like it ran pretty good there. I think it was hot over here, so. That's Looking pretty good. I'll definitely weld this metal, and it's only at 85 amps. Let's see what happens. Let me clean it off a little bit. That's what it's looking like. So let me turn it down to 80 amps. Well, the lowest it says I could go with 70. Let's give 70 a try and see what it does. I'm curious. Now that, I think, is really better. It was easier to weld, and it just seems like I can go slower with it, and it really works well. Let me get my pliers here. I'll hold this in place since it's hot. Okay, so that's what it looks like, and I would say it's welding pretty good. I don't think anybody would have any problems stick welding with this machine. So let's go on to TIG. Okay, we're going to attempt to TIG weld 3.15 millimeter steel with TIG. And with TIG you need 100% argon, so that's what we have hooked up. The Tig Torch goes into the minus, so disconnect the ground from the minus, put that into the plus. We'll take the Tig Torch and put that into the minus. So we have that set up correctly. We're using 1.6 millimeter tungsten, and it is 3.15? So we'll go with 3.4. And that's set at 100 amps. So let's see how that does. Okay, we have everything set up. Let me turn on the gas. I'm going to go with 30 CFM. I'm definitely not a TIG person. And I'm just going to try and mend together a bracket that I have for my wood chipper. So we'll see how it goes. This is a lift TIG, supposedly. I don't really know too much about the difference between lift TIG and scratch TIG, except for this one does not have a pedal. So, and you have to turn on the gas with this knob here. This Tig Torch did not come with the machine. I had to order it. I ordered it off of eBay. It is a WP-26V. So, let's give it a try. I'm just going to see whether I did weld it with my MIG before. I didn't do a great job on it, and that was with my older MIG. So I'm going to just see if I can't mend this a little bit with not feeding anything into it, using what's left from the MIG. So let's give it a try. So we're doing 1.6 millimeter tungsten, 3.4 millimeters steel. Glasses are fogging up. It's 10 degrees here, and it's pretty chilly out here in my garage. It's hard to get the tungsten isn't really ground correctly. I burnt it the last time I was fooling around with this thing here, and just takes me a little bit to get it to work. Give it a shot. Okay, that seemed pretty darn hot, and I'm going to turn it down a bit. Let's see here, 100 amps, let's go down to 80, because that seems like it's awful hot. And now that we got it to melt some, let's see what we can do on this side here. Oh, I didn't turn on the gas. No wonder I'm having issues. So my tungsten is really bad now. Let me turn on the gas. This will probably make a big difference. Sure did.
out. That came out pretty good. Let's flip her over and see what she looks like. Give her a little scraping here. Yeah, you can see I got my tungsten is pretty flat now, but what the heck, we'll still go with it. Well, seems like it worked for what I needed to do. Grab my pliers. So that's what it's looking like. Not too bad. And the metal is definitely sturdy. So I guess that's it for doing a little tigging. Okay, so we're going to weld 6.7 millimeter aluminum, and we have the U roller in the HBM2280 with the graphite liner that came with the machine, and we have it hooked up to argon, and we have it up to 35 cubic feet per minute, and we're going to program it now. So we're going into Mig Synergy Mode. Tells us to hook the ground cable up to the negative, so that's what we're doing. We're going to change it over to stainless steel. We don't have 1.0 millimeter, we got 0.9 millimeter wire in there, which is the same thing as 35. We're going with 2T, and this says it goes up to 4.8 millimeters, but we got more than that. So right now it says we're gonna be running at 21 volts, 10 meters per minute. So let's give that a try. And the inductance is a 1. So let's see how that works. Now let's try and do this aluminum. 6.7 millimeters. And we're doing it with 21 volts. Let's heat it up first, just to make sure it's ready to go. Okay, let's give her a shot. Looking pretty good from here. Looking real good. A little bit hot, I don't want to touch it. So that's aluminum welding with the HBM2280 at 6.7 millimeters of aluminum thick with 0.9 millimeter wire.
This is Pete's Man Cave. Please make sure that you subscribe and give me a thumbs up. Otherwise, these videos aren't going to be able to keep on coming to you. Okay, have a great day or great night, whatever you're watching. Time is.